This guy's a weirdo. He is a
Yeah, he
weird,
is.
he's a weird dude. His family, his wife, his daughter. I mean, just a family of strange people. Hot off the press. Get your copy here. James Comey, the United States of America versus James B. Comey Jr. Mark, shall I go through it?
Yeah, but let's look at this first. Let's look at this right here.
This is great.
It's happening.
Beautiful.
It's
Absolutely
finally
beautiful.
happening. This isn't like, John Durham 2 weeks. This isn't a strongly worded letter from Jim Jordan. This is literally a impaneled grand jury that we didn't hear. I don't think a lot of people knew that there was a grand jury. I don't know. How does it work? Do you impanel a new one for every person you go after, or is this?
Yeah, it's for every crime subject to that person. So they presented him now. He's got two charges here, two charges against Comey. They're separate grand juries for separate people. So the grand jury that's impaneled for James Comey is not going to be the same grand jury when they go get John Brennan and James Clapper. They're going to be different grand juries. I don't think you're actually legally allowed to get the same juries, but this is a turning point, Mark. This is when all the cards and chips are going to start to fall. And let's take a look at how this was made happen. It was made happen by Lindsay Halligan, the new United States Assistant Attorney for Virginia. Pam Bondi had nothing to do with it. In fact, Pam Bondi, as you saw in that text message that President Trump sent to her over the weekend, was trying to put somebody in that seat who was a rhino, who was not going to prosecute James Comey and any of these other people who still need prosecuting. So I hope tonight, Mark, it's a wake-up call to all these people to let them know that justice is coming. It may have taken a little bit of time, Mark, but it's coming. Yeah. Somebody said to me today, Mark, they go, I love Mark Mitchell on your show, but he's too pessimistic. And I go, hold on. What is there to be optimistic about? We got not one arrest.
Yeah. I mean, like Antifa, there are not pictures of Antifa. Well, I've seen actually some mugshots of Antifa just recently, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I don't know the details of all the cases, but I mean, it's like, okay, we're going to declare them a domestic terrorist organization. Finally, since 5 years after they were like burning cities, finally we will. And then, add it to the list of 100 other things of just brazen lawlessness. So again, you could call me a doomer, but I'm like asking for action. I'm saying, well, things are bad because Americans are angry that you haven't done this. So now that we're doing this, I'm happy. Like, let's see more of this. I think it's going to be great.
I'd rather be a doomer, Mark, than someone who comes out here and lies to the audience that indictments are coming, indictments are coming, indictments are coming. I report the news. You report the news as it comes to us. We were told months ago that indictments were coming, but from Pam Bondi, not from Lindsay Halligan in the Virginia Eastern District. So, there was nothing to be optimistic about because we heard for years and years and years that indictments are coming and they never came.
Let me play a clip, John. Somebody who has better connections than I do is saying that indictments are coming.
Well, I just talked to very high-level sources inside the White House, and they have confirmed to me that indeed the new prosecutor they've put in Virginia, because the last one was a deep stater, is set to indict Comey, Letitia James, and others.
Adam Schiff.
And you can guess who those people are. Now, the indictments you'll see within the next 5 days are Letitia James and the disgraced FBI Director James Comey. But then soon after, they already have the grand juries. They've already come back with the indictments. Brennan, Clapper, and of course, Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. When this happens, the rats inside the globalist system are going to run from the sinking ship whatever before. They thought they're invincible. They thought they're above the law. They thought they just had free reign, and you're about to see they don't. They tried to kill Trump twice. They've had a reign of terror against this country. They killed Charlie Kirk. The gloves are off. And I'm told that Kash Patel is actually great, Bongino is great, and that the issue is Pam Bondi. But if Pam Bondi doesn't do her job, she is goodbye. As I said 4 months ago, she's got 6 months. That was what she was given because the evidence is just open and shut on all this. The globalists wanted a war. They got one. But now is when they're going to launch false flags. Now is when they're going to pull all sorts of shenanigans because they know the jig's up. And they're not laughing now. God bless President Trump. God bless the United States of America.
As we were listening to that, Mark, James Comey just put out a video statement. If you could find it, he's doing it on Instagram, but you may be able to find it on Twitter.
Is it in shells?
Yeah, he's wearing one of those shell bikini tops, I think.
Oh, no, I have a message for him in shells. James Comey. There you go. What a coward, man.
Big time. Big time.
To hide behind his wife after the, like, I can't even.
The premise
he has a history of hiding. A lot of people don't know this. I asked you before the show.
Yeah.
And you hadn't heard this either. And I keep talking about James Comey and curtains. And everybody's like, Mark, what are you talking about? And so I went and actually dug up the story.
On Business Insider, right?
Yeah. Have you seen it? Here it is.
You just showed it to me.
There was a Business Insider article from May of 2017 where James Comey told his friend, and it was reported to the Business Insider, that he was worried that he would get attention at Trump cabinet meetings. And so he wore a blue suit to blend in with the blue curtains and stood in the back of the room and tried to hide from Trump so he wasn't called on. He literally said this to people.
This guy's a weirdo. He is.
He is.
He's a weird dude. His family, his wife, his daughter. I mean, just a family of strange people. The days of those of getting away with this stuff, Mark, are over. He faces, I think, 5 years in jail now. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to jail, but the fact of the matter is he's going to get to live through exactly what Roger Stone lived through, exactly what Steve Bannon lived through, and Peter Navarro, and all these people who got arrested for lying to Congress or failing to appear before Congress. And I think this is only just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there's far worse crimes. This was just the one that they had to get in before September 30th because the statute of limitations runs out in 5 days now.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they have more on him.
Oh, they do. But I'm just saying this was just getting their feet wet in the water, per se, Mark.
Nice. Well, that's good. Slide it in nice and easy. Yeah, we forget about this guy and we laugh at him because he's pretty comical. He's probably one of those people that wears the leather dog masks. I think that's
not the
what it is. But man, he was really a big deal. We polled on him a lot. For him to come out and literally interfere with the Hillary Clinton email scandals, for him to come out and call it basically a matter. Remember that? We were talking about whether it was a matter or. Here's the statement. I haven't seen this yet. It's weird that I guess it didn't go to his Twitter. Where did he post it?
It's on Instagram.
Oh, got it.
Will that not
here
play?
we go.
Oh, we got it. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll probably get an ad first.
Well, mute it.
But while we're waiting, while we're running that ad, the first count they say on or about September 30th, 2020, in the Eastern District of Virginia, James Comey did willfully and knowingly make materialistically false, fictitious, and fraudulent statements in a matter within the jurisdiction of a legislative branch of the United States government, also known as Congress, by falsely stating to a U.S. Senator or Senate Judiciary Committee hearing that he, James B. Comey, had not authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reporting regarding an FBI investigation concerning person one. That statement was false because James B. Comey then and there knew he was in fact authorized person three to serve as an anonymous source, and that was the law professor at Columbia who he was leaking to. So that's just one count, Mark. The other count, I believe, is lying to Congress on or about September 30th in the Eastern District of Virginia. James B. Comey did corruptly endeavor to influence. This is the obstruction, obstruct and impede the due proper exercise of the power inquiry under which an investigation was being. So that's the obstruction. So it's obstruction and lying to Congress.
Were Steve Bannon and Peter Navarro, they weren't obstruction. They were just contempt, right?
Yes, I believe they were contempt. I think Roger was obstruction.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. Here we go.
A statement by James Comey on Instagram. Here it is in full.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump, but we couldn't imagine ourselves living any other way. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either. Somebody that I love dearly recently said that fear is the tool of a tyrant, and she's right. But I'm not afraid, and I hope you're not either. I hope instead you are engaged, you are paying attention, and you will vote like your beloved country depends upon it.
That shit already happened.
Yeah.
My heart is broken for the Department of Justice But I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
Ugh.
Hey James, break out another
Remarkable.
1,000, buddy. Why was he doing that weird whisper thing that Joe Biden used to do, and then he'd get loud and then he'd do the whisper? That guy's a weirdo.
Narcissist, I think. I think he turns himself on. He probably watched that like 50 times before he posted it. I mean, like, what's weird though is for that guy, he has literally a documented history of doing cowardly things.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And he didn't frame it as anything principled. He just framed it as no, resisting Trump. He literally spends every fiber of his being thinking about how to resist Trump.
Yep.
And he thinks he's going to be martyred for it. And that's I'm sorry, that's not a principle.
Yeah, he's sadly mistaken. We're gonna get the people who are gonna run to his defense. CNN and all these folks will run to his defense over the course of the next few days. But he's got to defend himself. Mark, it's time to lawyer up. Get a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what the process was like for everyone else. So lawyer up, buddy. Lawyer up.
Now he's going to have a GoFundMe. He's going to get like a $5 million book deal, and Reid Hoffman's going to launder like $1 million into his Give, Send, Go or whatever.
Probably.
So now I made a joke. I said, well, we're good as long as we can make sure that James Comey prosecutor's not his actual own daughter. And then somebody said, well, actually, that's pretty cynical, Mark, but you're not far wrong, because what was the news you heard reported?
That James Comey's son, I guess it's son or son-in-law, son-in-law works in the Eastern District of Virginia, and apparently resigned or is resigning. But this news came after, Mark, for the last week, it was being mulled that they were trying to hold back on the charges. They were trying to hold back, which is why Trump fired the prosecutor there. They tried to make up that he resigned, but they were trying to hold back on the charges. Obviously, that wasn't going to be the case, Mark. These people live in some sort of weird delusion, and I guess they have been for the last 10 years. Time to wake up and smell the coffee, Mark.
Yeah, it's like, isn't it weird though? They still have invested every single institution. Every lever of power has been taken over by people who will stand on zero principles just to resist a change to the status quo. And it's like, we're talking about, okay, well, it's great that this is happening, but it's 9 months into the second Trump administration. So we've had 4.5 years to go after James Comey, and it's only happening now. And it's because like multiple layers of people have been fired.
Yeah.
I guess over time, including James Comey himself. And remember, the world puked about that. We actually polled on it too, but like that was a huge thing. Left got like literally certifiably insane because they like basically sainted this guy, as
But my favorite thing is, Mark, how they'll go back and forth on somebody. Like John Bolton was there, by the way, I think he's the next domino to fall, but John Bolton was their saving grace. They hated him. He's a war hawk. He's this, he's a terrorist. And then all of a sudden he flips on Trump, and it's like he's the greatest thing to ever happen to this country. And you're like, but nobody calls him out on it. That's the thing that's so mind-blowing to me. Like, nobody calls him out for this crazy shit that they constantly perpetrate and go back and change. And it's like, dude, like the gaslighting has got to stop. Wake up, people.